Well, I was just a little country boy, born on a farm, raised on a farm, moved to New Braunfels in 1934, finished high school, went to an Army Signal Corps school for a year to learn more about electronics. Well, I did them wrong. When I got through with that, I didn't go to the Army. I went in the Marine Corps. Went boot camp in San Diego, which was quite an experience. First thing, I had to go out there on a train, which I'd never been on a train before. Boot camp, like I say, was an experience. It was a lot tougher than what I understand it is now. There was, I don't know how to say it, they were pretty strict with us. They made us do things that ordinarily people wouldn't even think about doing. That's all right. It was for a reason, to toughen us up, to expect things in the future. After I got out of boot camp, I was selected to go to electronics school because of my background in San Diego. There I learned how to assemble and disassemble electronics. I also learned the Morse code to get me ready for operation in the actual battles. The Morse code, which I learned 60 years ago, I still learn, I still own, still remember every letter, every dit and dot after 60 years. I see a sign and I'll just mentally go through the Morse code. Like the little walk up there, da-da-da, da-da, 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 da-da. So I had to do it that fast because I was a high-speed radio operator. It went to Hawaii first, to Pearl Harbor, stayed there for a while, then we left for Iwo Jima. I guess the most scary thing is when they announced that they had sighted a submarine. That kind of shook us up a little bit. But we got to Iwo Jima, and they had been pounded with bombs and everything you can think of to kind of ease the pain, I guess you might say. The first 3 days on Iwo Jima I spent on the command ship, where all the admirals and the generals were, and I served as an operator to take the messages from the actual battle and relay it to the generals and the admirals so they could make their decisions. After 3 days, they sent me ashore. I'll tell you, that was scary. I was just a country boy. I didn't know anything about this. I didn't have any idea what I was getting into. I think on the second night, I was in the foxhole with a friend of mine from Arkansas, and I could see the mortar shells getting closer and closer and closer and closer until I finally told him, I said, get ready, it's going to hit us. And no sooner had I said that, and it hit right next to our foxhole. It tore my rifle to shreds, and I didn't even know I was wounded. I just ran for cover. I got to the tent where they were treating, and I did finally decide I was wounded. I reached down and had my hand full of blood. I got to the place where the corpsmen were, and they treated me, and they said, evacuate him to the hospital ship. From the hospital ship, I went to Guam, to a hospital, stayed there for a while, and then went to Pearl Harbor. Stayed there for a while, and was finally ready to get back into action, but I didn't exactly. I wasn't a really proud Marine at that stage. I wanted to get away from the action, not into the action, after having been wounded like I was. So from Pearl Harbor, I went to San Francisco, the hospital, to New Orleans to a hospital, to Corpus Christi to a hospital, and finally released.